Hello friends, imagine this. You're on a plane surrounded by friends and family, flying over the majestic Andes Mountains. The journey is supposed to be short and uneventful. But then, disaster strikes. What unfolds is a story so unbelievable it's been called the miracle of the Andes. Today, we'll dive into the harrowing survival tale of Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571. A story of resilience, hope, and the sheer will to live. It was October 12, 1972. A small, chartered aircraft carrying 45 passengers, including a rugby team and their loved ones, took off from Uruguay, heading to Santiago, Chile. The Andes Mountains stood between them and their destination, a breathtaking but treacherous range known for its towering peaks and unpredictable weather. The flight was delayed due to a storm, forcing the pilots to land in Mendoza, Argentina. The next day, October 13th, they resumed their journey. For the first hour, everything seemed fine. But as they approached Santiago, turbulence hit. The plane descended into thick clouds, alarms blared in the cockpit, and suddenly, disaster struck. The aircraft clipped a mountain peak. The rear section tore off entirely, ejecting passengers into the icy void. Moments later, the left wing broke away. What remained of the plane hurtled down a glacier at 350 kilometers per hour, before coming to a halt at 3,570 meters above sea level. Miraculously, 33 people survived the crash, but their ordeal was just beginning. The survivors were stranded in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth, freezing temperatures, thin air at high altitude, and no food or water. They used what little they had. The wreckage of the plane became their shelter. Seat cushions became snowshoes. Metal sheets were fashioned into tools to melt snow for drinking water. But injuries and exposure took their toll. By the first night, 5 survivors succumbed to their wounds or the cold. Over time, hunger became unbearable. With no vegetation or animals at that altitude and their meager supplies exhausted, they faced an unimaginable choice. To survive, they would have to consume the bodies of those who had died. It was a decision born out of desperation. Many struggled with the moral implications, but as one survivor later said, "We had no other option." In those early days after the crash, hope flickered faintly. Rescue planes flew overhead multiple times but failed to spot them. The white fuselage blended seamlessly with the snow-covered landscape. The survivors even tried writing SOS messages on the plane's roof using lipstick and arranging suitcases in patterns visible from above. But nothing worked. On October 21st, just 8 days after the crash, the official search was called off. When they heard this devastating news through a salvaged radio transmitter, despair set in. Yet amidst this hopelessness emerged extraordinary resolve. Realizing that rescue wasn't coming, 3 of the strongest survivors, Fernando Parrado, Roberto Canessa, and Antonio Vizintin, decided to trek across the mountains in search of help. They estimated that heading west would lead them to civilization based on what they thought was their location. On November 15th, 33 days after the crash, they set out on their journey. Along the way, they stumbled upon part of the plane's tail section containing supplies like chocolate bars and extra clothing, a brief reprieve in their grueling expedition. After days of trekking through snow-covered peaks with temperatures plunging to minus 30 degrees Celsius at night, Vizintin returned to conserve resources while Parrado and Canessa pressed on. On December 20th, 70 days after the crash, Parrado and Canessa finally encountered a Chilean shepherd named Sergio Catalan near a riverbank. Unable to cross due to strong currents, they threw him a note wrapped around a rock explaining their situation. Catalan alerted authorities immediately. The next day, helicopters arrived at the crash site to rescue the remaining survivors. Of the original 45 passengers aboard Flight 571, only 16 made it out alive. This story is more than just one of survival. It's about human resilience in its purest form. These individuals endured unimaginable suffering yet refused to give up hope. Their experience reminds us of life's fragility and our capacity for strength when faced with insurmountable odds. So next time you face challenges in your own life, remember this story. If these survivors could overcome such extraordinary adversity, high up in the Andes Mountains with nothing but sheer willpower and determination, you too can conquer whatever obstacles lie ahead. Thank you for watching. If you found this video inspiring or thought-provoking, don't forget to like and share it with others who might need some motivation today. And as always, stay curious.